From time to time it is necessary to make some repairs to my icons. When I say from time to time, I have to admit that it's been a couple of years since the last repair session, so it was about time. I worked on 4 icons that had suffered mishaps of various sorts. It's interesting and significant that 3 had not been varnished, so were not well protected, and therein lies a good reason for varnishing. The 4th was varnish related. The damage was caused when experimenting with different varnishes recently, and one went horribly wrong, so I took the offending varnish off with turpentine. It worked quite well. The image survived the ordeal, but patches of the background wore a bit thin in spots, so needed some reinforcing. So, stripping varnish proved hazardous in that instance. Another hazard was scratching. An icon that had been boxed and transported and hung in an exhibition had got scratched. The third hazard that needs attention is beasties that like eating egg tempera. In our little circle of icon artists in Melbourne, we argue over which are the offending beasties. Some are adamant it is cockroaches, others are convinced that they are carpet lice, still others go in to bat for other varieties of flying insects. I just don't know. Whoever they are pests, and we don't like them. And they just nibble little holes, usually in the background. I thought at first they seemed to favour ochres, and then the titaniums seemed to come into attack. They're smart enough to steer clear of toxic pigments, never known any of the cadmiums to suffer damage. No self-respecting cockroach wants to die of cancer. So it was repair time, and I lined up the panels for treatment. Found what I thought were the matching pigments, retrieved egg tempera from the fridge and found a number 3 squirrel brush and set to work. Oh, I also lined up my camera so you can share the journey. So, here goes. So the first icon for repair was St. Thomas. And it was St. Thomas who had been varnished, and I needed to take the varnish off with turpentine, which worked really well. The image is still in good repair, but some of the background wore thin. The background, now I thought it was straight titanium grey. And one of the advantages of repairing a pure pigment is that it's not mixed with anything. So I tried the titanium grey and worked on a little section. And one of the things that happens with egg tempera and the pigment is that it goes a little darker when it dries. So when I first put it on, I thought, oh, that's not bad. And then it got darker and darker, and realised that it wasn't pure titanium grey, but had some titanium white included. And so I added some white, and that seemed to work okay. But there was another little patch on the garment which needed repair with raw sienna, and that worked okay. Just push a little bit of pigment against the offending spot, and it went away. Better smooth out that other bit, just blend it a bit. Now this is where some beasties had taken over. This is Mary and Martha of Bethany, and they had beasties eat their background and a little bit of their inscription. This is straight titanium grey, so that worked quite easily. Just little spots, and the beasties thought they'd see if they could take a liking to Ercolano red, so they took a few nibbles of that, but preferred the titanium grey. And then we were able to patch the Ercolano red. Just little spots. But it needs a second coat. This is going on very thin. The brush is well dried off. Now we're looking at some unbleached titanium. The unbleached titanium again was a pure straight pigment, and so that patched all right. But the main problem was this scratch that occurred a couple of years ago. I first noticed it when I was hanging in an exhibition. The Ercolano red has patched really easily. That's gone straight on. And then titanium white was needed for the other section. And that took a little bit of building up. It took a few coats indeed. One coat went on, and oops, when I went back it didn't work because it wasn't quite dry. But I've come back now after it's dried and it's repairing much better. Bit more, just a tiny bit, just a tiny bit. Another bit, just. And there, it looks okay again. Now, Titus has a background of yellow ochre, and I don't know what beasties they were, but they really did like to nibble this yellow ochre. Again, fortunately, it's not a mixture of different ochres. It's just straight yellow ochre, and so this repaired quite happily. Now once all these repairs are finished, I will wait some months and then varnish these icons so that they don't suffer more mishaps in the future. So, St Titus can go back on the shelf. Well, thank you for watching this little session on me doing some repairs, and if you've got comments, love to hear from you, and look forward to catching up with you the next time we share a YouTube video of the Icon Diary.